The first fight night is Paddy versus Justin. First of all, Paddy's got to win that fight against Justin Gaethje. If he does, he becomes the interim champion of the world. So that's what...
With him, I'd love to have a brawl for 5 rounds. As he said, him versus Michael Johnson, how he introduced himself to the UFC. I'd love to have a fight like that. But
it's up for everybody. And there's going to be no Paddy and Ilya. I'm going to do the same thing I did for that fight. And then I'm going to fight Ilya.
Pros are revealing why Justin Gaethje may be walking straight into a costly mistake by choosing to fight Paddy Pimblett, the matchup everyone cannot stop debating. Analysts warn Justin that entering the octagon with Paddy is a calculated trap, where Pimblett's chaotic rhythm, sudden speed, and deceptive grappling are designed to crack openings. Still, Justin's savage power remains lethal. This becomes a high-stakes chess war where one misread second detonates everything.
That stupid mistake James Vick did and call him Homer Simpson and get knocked the fuck out.
Ilya exposes a sudden shift in Paddy Pimblett's trajectory, revealing that he was once lined up to face him himself, a matchup already labeled dangerous, but now Paddy is daring to climb higher by stepping in with Justin Gaethje. Topuria and Joe Rogan stress that Justin's relentless, all-out brawling instinct creates cracks, openings where Paddy's sharp timing, precision strikes, and sneaky grappling can strike without warning. In this volatile clash, momentum can flip in seconds, and what looks like confidence could spiral into a stunning, career-shaking upset.
Easy.
Wow, really easy?
Yeah, easy.
Really easy?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy thing to say because Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple. And Paddy knows
But
that.
he's a Division I wrestler. He knows how to grapple. You don't think he knows how to grapple? He just chooses not to. He chooses to stand and fight.
I don't think so. Did you ever saw him submitting someone?
I don't believe he's ever submitted someone, but I think that's because he likes to just crush people. He likes to bang it out and fight. He used to fight.
What everyone likes is to dominate people and to win as soon as possible.
Sean Ali openly frames Paddy Pimblett as a looming danger for Justin Gaethje, and his warning cuts deep. He points to Paddy's eerie calm under fire, reminding everyone how he stayed razor-sharp while eating heavy shots, including brutal left hooks against Michael Chandler that would have folded most fighters. Pimblett's versatility turns chaos into strategy, making him impossible to read, while his durability borders on unsettling. He's a true scouser, a man who refuses to go down, who absorbs punishment and keeps advancing. Justin isn't just entering a fight, he's stepping into a calculated minefield where a single mistimed strike, one reckless exchange, could instantly shut the lights off and rewrite everything.
I'm kind of leaning towards Paddy. But the way he does get hit with left hooks, he looks so good against Michael Chandler. Paddy's got a lot of ways to win.
He's a scouser.
He's a scouser. Scousers don't get knocked out, you mushroom.
He KO'd Dustin with a head kick too. The fight before the Max Holloway one, which is pretty impressive.
Justin Gaethje admits his willingly walking straight into a storm against Paddy Pimblett, fully aware that Paddy's surging confidence and relentless momentum are weapons as dangerous as any punch. He knows it will take a near-perfect performance just to stay level, let alone dominate. Yet beneath that awareness lies a dangerous assumption, because Gaethje may be overestimating how much control he can truly impose once chaos breaks loose. Pimblett is built for pressure, feeds off tense moments, and spots errors in real time, turning them into immediate punishment. He has their timing, their composure, and the finishing instincts to dismantle even battle-hardened strikers, making this fight less about power and more about who collapses first when the storm finally hits.
Pimblett, I mean, this guy's got a ton of momentum, you know, a ton of confidence, and those are two variables that are tough to beat. I'm going to have to really steal that momentum early and stay in my shell. You know, I know this kid's going to be trying to kill me, and I know he's going to make mistakes, so I have to be ready to take advantage of these mistakes and fight a perfect fight. At the highest level, it's who makes mistakes first, and I'm going to need to teach him that.
Paddy Pimblett is radiating dangerous confidence as this fight approaches, and that belief in himself could decide everything. His openly zeroing in on Justin Gaethje's legs, a target many insiders think has quietly deteriorated over time. If Paddy chews them up early and steals mobility, the entire fight flips in an instant. Once the pace slows, the ground becomes a nightmare, where Pimblett owns a clear, punishing advantage. Even standing, his sharp timing, constant pressure, and refusal to back off could smother Justin far quicker than most expect, turning early optimism into panic before anyone realizes the momentum is gone.
Poetic if I end up finishing him with leg kicks, like, which I can see he doesn't really throw his anymore. Stop throwing, I'm going to damage his calf, and if it does go to the ground, it'll be over even faster. Beat him to the punch on the feet, ruin his legs with kicks.
Ronaldo Moano lays out a chilling warning about how lethal Paddy Pimblett truly is, especially if Justin Gaethje fails to seize control from the opening seconds. He stresses that Paddy's grappling depth and submission instincts remain dangerously underrated, weapons hiding beneath the chaos. One careless scramble, one sloppy exchange, and Justin could find himself suddenly trapped with no escape. This isn't simply 5 rounds of trading punches and toughness, it's a ruthless chess match fought at full speed. Anyone overlooking Pimblett's intelligence and opportunism is committing a massive error, because he doesn't just wait for mistakes, he hunts them, capitalizing faster than most fighters realize what they've given away.
You know? Yeah. I think 5 rounds, if... this is the common take. Everybody gonna say that, not only me, but if Justin Gaethje doesn't stop him on the beginning, he's going to lose. I think everybody thinks like that. And I think Paddy Pimblett will beat Justin Gaethje. That's what I...
Paul Felder's breakdown exposes exactly why Paddy is no longer just hype but a rapidly evolving threat, one that keeps getting harder to ignore. He points out how Paddy's strength and conditioning are climbing every fight, his frame looking bigger, heavier, and more imposing each time he steps into the cage. Justin may bring raw chaos and frightening power, but Paddy counters with calculated strategy, patience under fire, and an unnerving composure that allows him to exploit even the smallest opening. Fans convinced Gaethje will simply overwhelm him are missing the real danger, because Pimblett has grown smarter, sharper, and far more adaptable than most are willing to admit.
He will do that. Do I think Paddy can win? 100%. I think this kid is doing it right, man. He is constantly seemingly like he's working on his strength and conditioning. He's always looking bigger and stronger every time that we see him inside of that cage.
Chaos Sonnen admits he even misread Paddy Pimblett in the beginning, once dismissing him as hype wrapped in noise rather than real substance, but that story has violently flipped. The illusion has shattered. Paddy has burned past the regional fighter label and reshaped himself into a legitimate UFC threat with real teeth. The belief that Justin Gaethje can simply march forward and steamroll him now feels reckless, almost arrogant. Sonnen makes it clear that Pimblett has proven he's not just a loud mouth paired with a flashy haircut, but a fighter who has evolved, sharpened, and learned how to weaponize pressure, timing, and momentum. Underestimating him at this stage isn't confidence, it's danger, and anyone clinging to the old narrative may be blindsided when reality hits hard inside the cage.
Out Paddy the Baddy. I gotta tell you, I don't think... I've got to know Paddy over the years. And before I knew him, when I stereotyped him and painted him with a brush, he was a regional fighter with a funny haircut, and he was pretty good on the mic. And you're going to be able to sell some tickets in the right market. This is who Paddy was. I do not have that opinion at all. In fact, I have...
Den Thomas underscores Paddy Pimblett's sly craftiness, yet many still fail to grasp how truly dangerous that trait is when chaos erupts. Paddy's comfort fighting off his back, his awkward length, and his instinctive ability to manufacture disorder turn him into a nightmare matchup that refuses to follow clean patterns. Yes, Justin Gaethje brings raw violence and relentless pressure, but violence by itself doesn't outsmart strategy when traps are being set in real time. The Jared Gordon fight is constantly thrown back in Paddy's face, but styles define outcomes, and Justin is far more readable than fans are willing to admit. Paddy feeds on messy exchanges, thrives when structure collapses, and waits for impatience to show. If Gaethje storms forward without discipline, that reckless aggression may become the exact fuel Pimblett needs to flip momentum, hijack control, and twist the fight in a direction no one sees coming.
Paddy Pimblett's crafty. He's a crafty fighter. He's got a very strong skill set. He's not afraid to fight off of his back. He doesn't wrestle all that well, but he uses his length well in terms of his kicks. But I just think the amount of violence that Justin Gaethje brings to the fight is going to be too much for Paddy. I mean, we saw what Paddy did against Jared Gordon, and a lot of people think he lost that fight. And Justin Gaethje is not Jared Gordon. You know what I'm saying?
Dan Hardy believes patience is the real key for Justin Gaethje, but that advice sounds far cleaner on paper than it does inside a locked cage. Justin has never been a fighter built on restraint. He feeds on chaos, momentum, and emotional surges, not calm calculation. Asking him to stay disciplined for multiple rounds against a relentless pressure fighter like Paddy is a dangerous gamble. Pimblett's constant movement, suffocating pace, and unpredictable rhythm are designed to drag opponents into mistakes, especially once frustration creeps in. If Justin starts hunting an early finish, those openings widen fast. One mistimed entry, one rushed exchange, and Gaethje could be dumped into scrambles he has no interest in navigating. Raw power always matters, but against a durable, desperate, and hungry opponent, patience can erode into hesitation, and hesitation is often the moment fights quietly slip away.
Gaethje can absolutely get it done, the ways that I've explained is in my mind the best way for him to do it, to close the cage down, and even if it takes a couple of rounds for Paddy to kind of overmove himself a little bit, if Gaethje's patient and he finds his opportunity, we know that he can knock anybody.
Beneil Dariush exposes one of the most uncomfortable realities surrounding Justin Gaethje, a weakness many prefer to ignore. Time and again, elite grapplers have been his most persistent problem, and aside from a few rare moments, Justin has struggled to provide convincing answers once fights drag to the mat. Paddy Pimblett embodies that exact threat profile, a fighter who welcomes chaos on the ground and thrives in transitions. When age is added to the equation, the margin for error tightens even further, leaving far less room to recover from mistakes. If this bout dissolves into extended grappling exchanges or frantic scrambles, the balance tilts heavily in Paddy's favor. That's why many insiders, quietly and without hype, view Justin as far more vulnerable than the public narrative suggests. This isn't noise or exaggeration, it's a cold stylistic collision, and for Justin, it resembles a nightmare he's been trapped in before.
I would probably do the same, just because if you look at Justin's fights, he's never really fought good grapplers and performed well. I'm trying to think if he's fought grapplers, but he hasn't really. Besides Habib and Charles, he's never fought really good grapplers. So I could see why they would put him as an underdog. He's older. Yeah, I mean, I get the...
Colby Covington frames this matchup as pure desperation territory for Justin Gaethje, and that reality alone should trigger alarms long before the cage door shuts. When a fighter walks in knowing one loss could erase everything, pressure mutates instincts and warps decision-making in dangerous ways. Justin may surge forward aggressively, but that urgency can easily betray him. Paddy Pimblett doesn't need to control every exchange or win every second. He only needs to pull Justin into unfamiliar, uncomfortable spaces. Chaotic wrestling scrambles, suffocating clinch pressure, and sudden, unpredictable transitions all tilt the balance toward Paddy. The belief that this is an easy matchup meant to build Pimblett completely ignores the reality unfolding underneath. If anything, Justin is being asked to navigate a carefully laid stylistic trap while carrying the crushing weight of a potential career-ending loss that could detonate the moment one mistake is made.
I think Justin's still a tough dog, and he's going to come out there and give his all, and he doesn't want to lose this fight. This could be his last fight if he loses. So, I think he's going to put Paddy to the test, and, Paddy, usually has to control the wrestling aspect, put guys to the ground to get his submission and to get his striking game working. So, I don't know. Justin's shot on one hand, they're trying to give him an easy win on a silver platter to Paddy.
Dan Hooker questions whether Paddy Pimblett has truly been tested at the elite level, but that doubt cuts sharply in both directions. Yes, this is a huge step up for Paddy, but it's an equally dangerous gamble for Justin Gaethje. Paddy doesn't move or think like a traditional contender. He thrives in disorder, adjusts on the fly, and stays unnervingly calm when fights get ugly. Justin's takedown defense may look solid on paper, but history shows it hasn't consistently survived against non-stop, grinding grappling pressure. This matchup isn't about hype or favoritism, it's about timing colliding at the worst moment. Paddy is rising fast, fearless, and visibly improving with each outing, while Justin is being pushed into a volatile, high-risk fight when momentum, age, and stylistic danger are all converging at once.
Pimblett, would Paddy Pimblett being the favorite against Justin Gaethje?
Nah, I don't think it's the favorite. I wouldn't have him. Gaethje's takedown defense is pretty sharp. I don't see him. I don't know. We just haven't seen Paddy in there get in there that often, and mix it up with the best guys in their prime. So it's a big opportunity for him, but we'll see. Yeah, he's smart. That's just the way to do it.
Justin Gaethje is framing this matchup as just another test of grit, but that very mindset may be the hidden danger waiting to explode. Leaning on toughness and sheer willpower at this stage of his career is a risky gamble, especially when standing across from a younger, sharper, and far hungrier opponent like Paddy Pimblett. Getting rocked early and trusting durability isn't a game plan, it's rolling dice with your future. Paddy doesn't fight like Michael Johnson or anyone Justin has faced before. He engineers chaos, weaponizes scrambles, and refuses to wilt when exchanges turn ugly and exhausting. Even the talk about bonuses and motivation quietly exposes a shift in priorities. Paddy wants everything: momentum, relevance, dominance, and a statement that echoes through the division. Justin wants survival, respect, and one more unforgettable night. That imbalance in hunger matters more than people admit. If Justin believes he can simply absorb damage, weather the storm, and eventually impose himself, he may realize too late that he's sinking fast, drowning in pressure long before grit ever has a chance to save him.
With his aggression and his hunger, I think this is going to be same as every other Michael Johnson type fight where I might get rocked a couple times, but my grit and tenacity and will to win is going to, overcome. So I'd rather, he wants both bonuses. That's the difference between age. Now I just want one bonus, performance.
Luke Thomas dismantles this matchup with brutal honesty, and the numbers back him up. Paddy Pimblett isn't just active, he's efficient, consistently landing more than he absorbs and walking away from exchanges with control. Justin Gaethje, on the other hand, has built his legacy on damage-heavy wars that look heroic but don't always favor him when the stats are stripped bare. On paper, this is framed as striker versus grappler, but in modern MMA those labels dissolve fast. Paddy doesn't need to dominate the feat or win every second. He only needs moments. One clean entry, one reckless exchange, one sudden scramble can violently flip the entire fight. Justin's power is always a threat, but it often comes with a price, costing him balance, positioning, and composure. If Paddy can force Justin to question his priorities mid-fight, the structure collapses. That's where Pimblett becomes most lethal, when chaos breeds hesitation and hesitation opens the door to everything unraveling at once.
Do you agree with the odds? Do you agree that Paddy Pimblett with Paddy Pimblett being the favorite against Justin Gaethje?
Nah, I don't think it's the favorite. I wouldn't have him. Gaethje's takedown defense is pretty sharp. I don't see him. I don't know. Like, we just haven't seen Paddy in there get in there that often and mix it up with the best guys in their prime. So it's a big.
This perspective finally slices through the noise surrounding Paddy Pimblett, exposing how many people still judge him by looks and personality instead of what actually happens inside the cage. There, Paddy is patient, controlled, and far more technical than his critics want to admit, operating with quiet intent. His reach, diverse kicking arsenal, and rare ability to stay calm under suffocating pressure turn him into a nightmare for fighters who depend on raw aggression to win. Justin Gaethje is undeniably a proven warrior, but is also increasingly predictable in how he enters exchanges, pushes forward, and commits to damage-heavy paths. Paddy thrives on that predictability, waiting for patterns to repeat before punishing them. While betting logic continues to lean toward Justin based on reputation and past wars, it completely ignores timing. Paddy is accelerating, improving rapidly, sharpening details fight by fight, while Justin is battling mileage, age, and the invisible weight of accumulated damage. This is no longer about hype, image, or popularity. It's about whether Justin can truly adjust in real time against a fighter who refuses to panic, stays composed when chaos erupts, and punishes every single mistake the moment it appears.